Hey there, it's Q. Welcome to Hold and Modify, YouTube's most poorly produced, underproduced Amiga channel. And yes, here we are again today. Going to be showing you some fun Lightwave, how to light a starship, as the title implied there. And yeah, I wanted to do some fun things with Lightwave and kind of show you how we used to light the ship back in the day when we worked on the shows like Voyager and whatnot. But we're going to do it over here in Win UAE, because I don't really show this enough, and it's a fun way to experience the Amiga if you don't have all those Amigas, right? You're just sitting at home, and one thing you can do pretty much for free is fire up an emulator, and that's what we're going to do. I've got it configured basically as a plussed out 68060, so it's a little boosted, but not crazy. It should still give us quite an enjoyable experience. And I hope you look forward to seeing what we can do. I think this will be a fun little kind of tutorial on how to use it. And since I won't be filming off screen and driving us crazy with wiggly wobblies, we'll be getting a direct feed from the program. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it.
This computer will rule the world.
All right, so yeah, filming off the monitor is nothing that's really pleasant. No one likes to watch filming off the monitor. I mean, yeah, it's neat seeing somebody click around and you get to see, you know, the computer and stuff. But really, if you're going to watch a video because you're actually interested in the content, flickering, bad audio, as we all know, is really a distraction. And I'm learning this lesson. I'm still learning this lesson, so please bear with me. Well, let's get to it. I said any of us could have a starship, right? So what I want to do is go ahead and load the starship. And of course, I am going to load the starship. Now look at this. It's 16,000, almost 17,000 polygons. It has 3.3 megabytes of images in use. That's actually a lot. And we're going to set the camera, D2 PAL. No, we're going to go to square pixels. We'll keep it at 640 by 480. We'll keep anti-aliasing off for now because I want to just get this laid out. 8-bit ham. I love my ham, so we're going to keep the ham there. Let's go to the camera. 3.2 is an equivalent lens of 24 millimeters. Well, we don't want that. We want to be huge. Let's do 7. 53 millimeters. That's not enough. Let's go to 10. Or just let's just go to 1, right? Yeah, 1. Yeah. So now we're at 75. I would really like to see something between 70 and 100. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this down. And I'm really bad at math, as you all know. So 9 is good. We're at 68 millimeter lens. That's fine. And then we're going to go to the camera view. We're going to look through here, and we're going to look at this gorgeous gal. As she shows up, there she is, the good old D. Don't we just love the D? Everybody loves some good D. So I want to show you some cool basic stuff here. We're going to do a shot that you've seen a million times in Star Trek: The Next Generation. Gonna do a little Enterprise D flyby here. So often what you're going to see on the show is that it's flying through space. Now this grid here that you're seeing, this grid texture, this is our space. This is a visual representation of space. So we're going to go ahead and rotate that camera over here. First thing we're going to do, though, is set our time frame. Right now we're at 25 frames a second, and you can probably guess why. So we're going to go ahead and set that to 24 frames per second, if I can figure out how to do that. And then we're going to set this right now. Let's just do 200 frames. And what we want to do here, and we're going to keep it simple. Now, a lot of folks, when they're getting into animation, they see the movies and the TV, and they get all crazy, and they want the camera, and they want to go, wow, with the camera all over the place. Look at this. The camera's moving everywhere. Okay, every time you do that, people throw up. So you want to keep the keyframes as minimal as possible. Less keyframes. And remember, if you've watched my past Lightwave basic videos, and this is not a Lightwave basic video, this is me just doing advanced Lightwave stuff because we're beyond that phase. But if you go back and watch those Lightwave basic videos I talk about keyframes and what they are. And yeah, we just don't want a lot of keyframes, so we want to keep it simple, especially in a pan like this. So what we're going to do is start the camera over here, and then what we're going to do is grab the ship, and we're going to move it back only on Z. We're going to stick it way back here. So Mr. Picard, I'm going to get fired for that. Captain Picard is sitting over here in his, spaceship, his starship, And he's got Wesley sitting on his lap, and Beverly's dancing around, and Q's probably down here in engineering, messing around with O'Brien and Geordi. So we'll go back there, and then we'll come over here, and we'll do the camera. Now, in Star Trek, Next Generation, this is it, right? Everything is, they call it the ships on a plate of glass. Everything is flat and horizontal like this. And the ships, they go right to left, left to right, all on a happy little invisible plate of glass here. But this is YouTube, and currently the year is 2022. So we're going to do something really advanced. We're going to do this little, what they call a Dutch. We're going to slightly Dutch the camera, or bank the camera here a little bit to give it a little excitement. Watch that wireframe draw. And then we're going to go to our last frame. What we're going to do on our last frame here is click back on the old Starship Enterprise. Here we go. We're going to move it past the camera to where we think it might be off camera. Then we're going to go back to this camera control and go, where my ship at? We're going to rotate around. Rotate, and we're going to be like, whoa, there's the ship. What's it look like? Oh man, it's huge. It's totally in front of us. So this is a complete flyby and pan to see where it's going type shot. Now we could do this. I could do this kind of shot, but I've only given us 200 frames. That's going to be a really quick flyby. Even at 24 frames a second, that's a quick flyby. So what we might want to do is go back here and say, let's just do this. So if we go here and we scrub the timeline, you're going to notice that the Enterprise isn't moving. You want to know why? You want to know why the Enterprise isn't moving? Because when I moved it like this, I went like, "We, Captain Picard and Wesley, the boy, sitting in his lap for so much joy." I didn't do this. I didn't keyframe it. There you go, Lightwave Basic. Maybe I should watch my Lightwave Basic videos. All right, so now we've got the ship doing a cool little flyby, and what we're going to do is go to camera. And as it flies by, we're going to give a little bit of rotation to try and kind of pretend like we're going to catch it. But we're not really going to catch it. We're going to let it get away a little bit. And then just to be fun, we're going to do a little counter Dutching on it. And then we'll keyframe the camera there. And now that we know that we're still seeing the ship, we're going to go ahead and move it some more so that we don't see it. And we'll keyframe it there. All right, that's fun. We'll go preview, bounding box. Look at that preview bounding box. Now we're kind of losing the ship. You see that, how we're losing it there? It's kind of sliding off to the right out of camera. I got to drink some water. I got to hydrate. Sorry. So yeah, here we go. Here we go. It's flying by. All right, so 24 FPS. Here we go. Yeah, see the camera's kind of leading the ship a bit. We're kind of losing it. You're probably like, Q, what do you mean ship? All I see are a bunch of black and gray lines. This box is the ship, okay? You gotta remember, this is 35 years ago. You gotta think, you gotta visualize. So what we're gonna do is we're trying to just block this out. So we're gonna go back to the camera, and right about where we lose it, this is what I was talking about. You don't want to get all keyframe crazy and just be like, every single spot you're gonna like, I'm gonna rotate here, I'm gonna rotate here. Don't do that. You also don't want to just target the ship, because if you target the ship, it will always be like perfectly centered and never move. And it's going to look really CGI-y and fakey and gross. Don't do that. So what you want to do is kind of be natural, trying to pretend you're like, you're the dude or chick and, or robot that's floating in space with a camera pointing at the Enterprise. You're like, oh, that's Picard's ship, man. I love it. That ship is awesome. He's got Data. He's got Worf. He's got all the cool people. All the other starships in Federation are like, oh, man, our ship sucks. But yeah, so you're out here filming this stuff CNN style or Fox News style, and you're kind of do a loose center on it, maybe like that. And I'm not saying do shaky cam, because this is Star Trek that we're doing in spaceships, and this is not an action shot. This is just a flyby. This is like a cruise ship in space. So we're not going to go all Saving Private Ryan action cam style. We just want something smooth. Want to kind of keep the ship mostly framed as it flies by. And then, like I said, we did a little bit of, at the end here, we want the camera to kind of feel like it's following it a little bit. I'm going to give it a little bit more follow, actually. And then we're going to make sure we move the ship off There. All right. So now let's go ahead and make a preview of that. You know what I'm going to do for you all, because I know I said y'all. Yeah, I've been living in the South for a while now. It's starting to kick in. We're going to make a vertex or a point preview. So there you go. See, that's, you probably like this, right? Because now you can actually see what's happening. So there you go. That's what's actually happening now. You can see the actual Enterprise. Riker's in the back there with Troy, and I'm sure... whoa, wait. What did that just do? Sorry, folks. I'm sorry. Yeah, Riker is in the back with Troy, and, Ensign Rowe is jealous. No. So here we go. We're flying the ship. Nice little Dutch bank. Here comes the Enterprise. Whoosh, scraping lens. Look at that. Whoosh. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's some Star Trek. That's the show I love to watch. The Star Trek, The Next Generation. Okay, there it is. That was, what accent was that? I'm not sure what that was. All right. So for those of you still watching, here we go. We're doing the 1701D in Lightwave on the Amiga, because yes, you can do that, and that's what we're doing. I'm just showing all the folks that are watching this how to do a quick flyby. Now, imagine that this is not the Enterprise. This is your YouTube channel logo. I don't know. Maybe it's something you like, and you want to do some cool retro animation thingy or whatever. This, you could put anything in here. It doesn't have to be the Starship Enterprise, right? But I'm just trying to show you how the, having worked on the show, I worked on Deep Space Nine and Star Trek Voyager and Battlestar Galactica and Firefly, but I didn't work on Next Generation because, yes, I was still in high school when that show was on. But having worked on the shows that came after, this is a very standard type move we would do. You load the ship up. They want to see it fly by the camera. You've seen this 100 times in the show, and that is what I'm illustrating here. So now we have our animation. So let's make sure we do the important thing, folks, right? Save. Let's go here. We'll go to Trek. We're going to call this version 3 because, always version. Don't overwrite. Don't be lazy. You have plenty of hard drive space. So we've got all the stuff here. We've got the we're going to turn some anti-aliasing on. Why not? There we go. We're not going to do any motion blur yet. We're not going to get fancy. So let's see what we're getting. Now, keep in mind, I have done nothing. And one of the first things I do, see ambient intensity, ambient light intensity. This is that fake, light everything up light. I'm turning that off. So we have one light in here. I don't know what this light is doing. It's a distant light and it's ray trace. So I don't even know where it's at. So we're going to press the render button, and we're going to see total garbage. Here we go. Total garbage. Well, that's not terrible. We actually got a nice hot kick from the top there, don't we? Look at that D. Whoa, look at that ship. When we first saw this years ago, we all were just crying, what do they do to the Enterprise? Oh my God. Now, this is cool, man. It's got the nipples here. That's sweet. And the big carp mouth. And then, the big, Stewie Griffin Frisbee head here. So what we've got is this kind of abrasive top-down sunlight happening here. That's fine. I mean, we can do that. We've got, 68060s and Apollo products in Pi Amigas with lots of render power. But, really, spotlights are your friend because they render faster. They do take up memory because when you go to Spot and you go to Shadow Map, you do have to use up that precious memory. So you have to trade it off. You're trading off memory or CPU power. So if you have lots of CPU power, but not a lot of memory, then you can do the distant lights with the ray tracing. And you can do the spotlights with the ray tracing. But if you have, not a lot of, but if you have a lot of memory, then you can do shadow maps, because now you can use the faster shadow map light, which uses up more memory, but it's going to render faster, right? And if you don't have a big fast CPU, but let's say you got a 6830 with 32 megabytes of memory, or even 16 megabytes of memory, right? So you're rocking that. You could do shadow map, and you could have some shadow map fun. And yeah, that's a good balance. Now, you got a 6840 with 16 or 32 megs of RAM, or a 68060 with 32 megabytes or 64 megabytes of memory. You could probably do both, honestly, spot or distant. I'm going to stick with distant for now because it's easy and I like it. But one of the things we want to do is go to the top view and find out where the heck this distant light is. Okay, there. Well, that's where it's at. So it's right there. We go to this view. It's kind of pointing down. It's not bad. I mean, honestly, it's not terrible. But what I would like to try and experiment with is maybe rotating it. And I'm sorry, let me go to the, let's go, so we're looking at this frame here. Let's go to view and move. Let's kind of get it centered up a little better. Let's go back to the light. And what we want to do, one of the fun things I like to do is get the light so that you can see it through the camera view. And there you go. Yeah, so there we go. So now we know that light. So what I want to do is, and it's really difficult because this light here is a wireframe, and your brain, your eyes get kind of lost. Like, what direction is it facing? Like, is it? I'm moving the mouse left and it's rotating left. Okay, so I know it's one of those weird like left brain right left brain right brain thing. So you have to make sure that, all right, if I move the mouse left, it needs to look like it's rotating left and going to the left and then going to the right. But because you can see through it, you can see through the wireframe of this light, it can get a little confusing and you can get lost. You're like, why am I moving my mouse to the right and the light is moving to the left? But that's because your brain is flipped upside down, so fix it. All right, so what I want to do is change this light so it's more from the side and a little more oblique, like that. And I'm going to keyframe it at not 123. I'm going to keyframe it at 0. And then for now, I'm going to turn off anti-aliasing because we don't really need this. We're just doing gross light blocking. So we're going to hit F9 again. All right, so that's a little better. So now we're getting a little more dramatic, like from the side, raking light. Now all this other glowy stuff you're seeing, this is because, you've got luminous surfaces and textures on this Enterprise. It's self-lighting. And one of the little things, and some of you who've watched my videos in the past know, this model that I'm showing you right now, this is an actual original digital version that was used in the show. So, bow down, be in awe of that. But yeah, this is the actual original digital version of the model that was used in the show, a version of it, okay? So you're seeing what they put up on the screen on the TV show. Here it is. Isn't it great? It's not like a physical model you can play with, but it's a digital model you can play with. You can see all the work that went into it. But yeah, this is all the self-illumination stuff. So we've got kind of that cool side effect. So one of the first things I want to do is I want to give it a little bit of a bottom kind of camera fill, I call it. So one of the things I like to do is, because we already know where this first light is, we're going to just go ahead and clone it. Call it, 1. And then we're going to rename it. We're going to call it Cam Fill. This is a very, very basic 3-light type setup. And for the color of this light, I want to make it a different color. So for this, because it's Star Trek and it's Next Generation, we're going to go with the RGB. We're going to go give it a little bit of a red tone, not too much, just a little bit there. Let's take it down a little bit. This color picker is pretty terrible, to be honest, folks. I'm not a big fan of it. So a little bit of red. We're going to keep the ray tracing on because we've got render power. And then now we're going to rotate this to the left. And this is where my brain is freaking out because I started rotating it to the left and my brain thought the light was rotating to the right. Sorry, that's just me. And we're going to kind of point this so that it actually points in the direction that the camera is pointing. So we're kind of looking at the butt of the light. We're going to keyframe that at some, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I just did. We're going to keyframe it at 0, and we're going to delete this keyframe that I made. Okay, good. So it doesn't accept. I was like, did I just create a keyframe at Oblivion? Okay, so let's see if there's a keyframe on here, though. Okay, so there's no keyframe. I just want to make sure. We're on frame 123, and okay, the light's not moving. All right, that's good. That was kind of freaking me out. I don't know what I just did there. All right, so let's press F9. So now we should have some red front fill. There we go. Look at that. We got some red front fill. It's a little strong. Okay, it's a little over the top. What we're going to do is we're going to slightly tilt it up. And in my brain, at first, when I started moving the mouse upwards, it looked like the light was moving downwards. I'm going to keep repeating this to you all because it may happen to you, but just know that that's a brain thing. And then we're going to go ahead and take that cam fill and we're going to turn it way, way down, way down, way down. Let's go to like less than half. All right. We're going to render that off again. All right. So there we go. We're kind of getting there. We get nice little subtle red fill from some random weird star thing. Now, this is almost an acceptable kind of Trek lighting thing. You'd see this a million times in the show. But one of the things we can do is clone this light, and we're going to call it Kicker. And this is like your, kind of like your hot edge light kick, which is like some kind of fakey light from God, I guess. I don't know. But for this, we're actually going to use a spotlight. And we can do ray trace. And the reason we're going to use a spotlight is because I want to be able to have some fall off on it. So we're going to tighten up the cone. We're going to spread out the soft edge a bit. Spread out the soft edge a little bit. All right. And we need to go to the top view. And we need to move this light. And we need to go to the view, by the way. Let's go back to view. Zoom. Way out. All right. Let's go to the little spotlight. Because what I need to see is how much our ship is moving. It's moving a lot. So this spotlight needs to be way out here to kind of stay on target with this ship. And what I want to do is kind of have it be slightly behind the ship. In fact, we're going to have to go to view. We're going to have to zoom really far out. Yep, here we go. Fun lighting. All right. So now I can't even see what the frick the light is doing. So view, zoom. Let's get us in a little more here. All right. Can I see my light now? All right. I can kind of see what the spotlight's doing. It's a bunch of little yellow dots, but I can see what it's doing. So we're going to go to light move. We're going to kind of bring it out way over here. And we're going to come over here and we're going to move it up. And then we're going to look through it and go, where's our spaceship? There's our spaceship. So our spaceship is way over here. We're going to try and see if we can keep the spaceship completely framed at frame 0. So let's go ahead and watch the spaceship move. So yeah, we've got lots of space here. So what we're going to do is bring the light over so that we can still see Mr. Spaceship. And see this circle here? This is letting us know where all of the shadow map goodness is going to go. Well, that circle is kind of big, so we're going to take it down even more. So now yep, there we go. Now we're getting a little more close to that. So there we're being a little more efficient with our spotlighting here. Bring that in there. Okay. All right, look at that. So now we're being extra efficient with our spotlight kicker here. Now, we're going to go back to the camera view, and we're going to go and do this. We're going to go to all these other lights, like light, 100%. We're going to we're just going to turn it off. Kicker fill, which is 44%, or half. We'll just remember it as half. We're going to turn that off. Oh no, wait, kicker fill. We're going to leave it 100. I'm sorry. Oh, goodness. Cam fill, we're going to set half, we're going to set to off. So we got cam fill is off, light is off, kicker fill. We're going to turn on intensity fall off. Now, we are currently set to, where are we set to? One of these squares is 200. So just one of these squares is 200, okay? So let's go to the top view. And of course, we're out of squares. Like, how far away is this light? If one of these squares is 200, then this light is really, really far away. Like, what if we make one of these squares as 1? Oh my gosh, what just happened? Oh no. Oh no. Oh. I broke everything. Well, let's go back to, let's try 100. Oh, let's, well, first off, let's make this as big as we can. So let's do 100 and let's do 32 by 32 and see if we can get, oh boy. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Don't panic. There we go. All right. So we kind of got it back. Where's our light? Oh my gosh, we can't even see our light. Well, we're going to need a lot of fall off is what I'm trying to say. So, at 1, it's not going to, so if I hit F9 right now, we should have a dark ship. We have a dark ship. So this is, I was going to use the squares and the grid size to try and figure out the math to figure out the maximum range. But instead, we're just going to play the old guessing game. I'm going to do 5,000. Let's see what that does. Nope. Okay, it's really big, isn't it? Let's do 50,000. 50,000. Uh-oh, there you go. There you go. Now you're starting to get... So why are you doing this, Q? Because with the fall-off light, the beam of the light actually has a intensity fall-off, so it's not constant across the whole ship. This allows for much more moody, dramatic-looking lighting. So that's why I'm doing this fall-off light. So there you go. As you can see, we're starting to rim light the ship. And I'm going to go ahead. Now I could increase the light intensity if I'm happy with that fall off. So what we can do here is go to like 150%. And we'll hit F9. And there we go. Now I want my fall off light to be a different color. I don't want it to be the same color. Let's give it a little blue. It's like a pulsar. Like the Enterprise is flying near a pulsar. And the pulsar is giving it a little bit of a kick light. Sure, right? Most kick lights are just white, but this is Star Trek. So we're getting a little bit of a kick light there from some kind of random pulsar. That's a little bit of a sickly blue, so I want to back off on that a little bit here. Let's bring it up, There we go. Let's try that. All right, so that's a little better. And we're going to go ahead and turn on our main key light back to 100%. Look at that, having that. So now we got this complement of the, the white kind of overall fill and this kicker on the side here. But this kicker is really aggressive, so we're going to go ahead and go back to the light view of the kicker. And we're going to go ahead and move it more behind the ship, because I really want this to kind of be a kicker behind the ship. So go here, keyframe it at 0, make sure it's not animated or moving. Yeah, so there we go. So now we've really moved that aggressively behind the ship. And just to verify that, we're going to go back to our main light, and we're going to turn it off. Press F9. Yeah, so we're getting more, it's more kicked from the side and the back. That's what I want. And then now what I'm going to do is seeing it, I'm going to go ahead and that kicker fill. I'm actually going to turn it way down. I think it's a little too hot. There we go. Just a little bit there. And then we're going to go ahead and turn our main sun back on. And let's turn on our cam fill, and we're going to take that up a little bit. This is kind of a cam bottom fill, actually. So yeah, so now we're getting that, there's the main light from the left. We've got the bottom fill, which is kind of hitting the bottom of the dish. It's a little dim, so I'm going to bring it up a little bit. And the kicker is a little hot, so I'm going to bring it down some more. I don't want to lose the contrast. See how you've got like this nice light coming here. We got a little warm bottom, but see how this neck here is almost as bright as this side? You want to avoid that. You don't want that. So we're going to go back to Mr. Kicker Fill here. And actually, I'm going to turn them off. I want to make sure I'm not screwing something up here. Yeah, so what's happening is that camera fill is getting us too much here. So what I'm going to do is go to our camera fill light. So let's go to wherever camera fill light is. We're going to go to the light view. There she is. And I want to, even though it's a distant light, I'm going to go way down. I really want to make this red light just fill the bottom of the ship. I don't want it to really be affecting any other part of the ship, okay? So that's it. That's all I get. It's a distant light, so it can be anywhere and it doesn't matter. So now, when we come back here, we've got our cam fill, we've got our kicker, which I turned off because it was getting blown out by the cam fill. What do we get here now? Yeah, so now see how the top of the ship here is dark again? Because that kicker light, remember the neck of the D actually kind of spreads out, kind of swan wings out. So yeah, we're getting all that bottom fill, but it's still too hot. We're going to have to go ahead and take that cam fill and turn it way down, way down. Turn that cam fill way down. There we go. That's still too much. It's still too much. It's all about balancing the light. So we don't want this front fill here to be brighter than the top. See how the top up here is a certain value? We don't want this to dominate the top. So what we need to do, dominate the top, oh boy. So we need to go back to the main light here. I'm gonna bump this up actually. There we go. So now we're getting more of the top here. And you could leave this alone, but I'm gonna go ahead and go back to that go back to that kicker, and let's go back to the light view. And this time I'm going to actually move up a little bit, come back even more, and come behind. Because I'm really just trying to fill in the dark areas that we're seeing on the lower hull here. This is where O'Brien is doing his weird shenanigans, is down here in the dark secondary hull area. So now that I've got that set up, let's go ahead and bring it back up. Let's just take it all the way to like 50%. All right, so see, now we're getting that secondary hull kind of lit and kicked up, and it's not, but again, it's always balancing these lights. You don't want them all to be equally the same value, because then your ship is just going to look like it's, I don't know, like a sticker that you just stuck on black velvet, I guess. But we're getting this nice kind of sun. Now, one of the things that's happening, because my main sunlight is not a fall-off light, a spotlight like that kicker we did, kind of see how it's like bright here, but it's kind of it's almost an even brightness across the whole surface. That's because it's not a fall-off light. This is why, even for your main sun, you really do want to use that fall-off light. So you can see how it looks here. We got this kind of like Frisbee hat, even lighting going on. And then we got our little camera fill down here. And then we have our little kicker back here. Maybe we should experiment with making that sunlight a spotlight. So to do that, we can just go to the light. Now the problem is, in doing this, I can move this light. So let's go back to view, go back to zoom. Oh, it's so much zooming. We're going to move everything over here. I want to find this light. Where's this light at? There it is. So I can move this light safely, and it won't affect anything that we've already seen. All right, because it's a distant light, and then we can look through it. Now, if I start rotating it, it's going to affect what it's doing. So I'm going to move it up some more, move it back, move it up some more. Now I'm going to start rotating it. I'm going to come down and I'm going to move it over here. And this is because I'm going to convert it to a spotlight. Now, as soon as I do that, it can still be ray traced. Now, here's our circle. So we're at frame 93. We got to make sure that the ship is completely encased in the lighting. Otherwise, we're going to lose it. So we got to move this light way out. Oops, sorry. There we go. You guys are so excited about this. You're just like, this is it. This is visual effects. This is what those monkeys get paid to do, all of these movies that we go and watch. All those MCU movies, this is what these guys are doing. This is it. So yeah, so now we've got this sunlight in here. And now what we're going to do is turn on our good old intensity fall off. And at the default, we're going to smash F9. And you can already guess what's going to happen. Yeah, we've lost our sun. So we're going to go ahead and increase this value to something ridiculous like 10,000. And see what that gives us. There we go. Now, do you see what's happening already? This is brighter over here than it is over here. Not by a lot, but enough. One of the ways you can fix that is by reducing the fall off. Okay, so we're going to reduce the fall off. And now we're back to, there's no light. This over here, this is the kick you're seeing from that kicker light. So, but what we're going to do without increasing the fall off, we're going to increase it a little bit. Let's go to like 7,000. I just want to get a little, okay, so there we go. We're getting a little bit of the fall off now. Maybe a little too much. Honestly, we're going to take it down to 6,000. Stay with me, folks. Stay with me. I'm promising you, look, it'll look better. So now it's like, there's that kicker light. We're getting just the most faint illumination from that sun. But what I'm going to do next is something ridiculous, like type in a value of 500 for the light. Now what happens? Now we're getting this side being brighter without blasting this side with the same intensity of light. But we're going to keep going. Let's go to 1500. This one goes to 1500. So as you can see, now we're getting this side more brightly lit. And it is going to start bleeding over into the side, but it's still not as bright. So what we can do now, we can start playing with the other lights. Back to that kicker fill, we can bring it down a little bit, and we can even kick this up to like 2000, but I'm going to clamp it even more. Oh, that just killed it, didn't it? Oh, I did not like that. They did not like that 5,000 at all, did it? Oh my gosh. We'll do 6,500. We'll like that. Is that okay? Oh, there it goes. It likes that. Okay, so so we're still getting the illumination on the from the kicker, and now this almost looks a little bright. I'm going to see if I can flirt with this and take it down to 6,200. All right, so there we go. So now we've got a brighter left side and a dimmer right side. Now, again, this is a 35-year-old 3D rendering package, so it has limitations on what these lights and what they can do, but you're starting to see we're getting this kind of Star Trek-y looking thing going on. But we know what we're missing. We don't have freaking stars. Where the heck are the stars? Let's get some stars in here. Stars. Where do I have stars? Space? Stars. Actual stars? Everyone likes actual stars. All right, I've loaded actual stars. No, they don't need to cast shadows. Let's not do that. That's ridiculous. So there's actual stars. I have no idea what they're... Okay, those are really big. Oh my gosh. So I've loaded in stars, and they're gigantic. Yeah, there they are. Oh, there they are. So there's some stars. We're going to keyframe those at 0. So, oh my gosh, this is okay. We'll keyframe those at 0 at that size. I'm going to have to clone these stars a lot, it looks like, because they don't see a lot of stars, do we? So what we can do is we can just go Object, we can say Clone, and then through the magic of Rotate, we can rotate it and make more stars. Look at that. We've made more stars. Well, no, we haven't done it in a long time. Save the scene. You probably were all screaming at me if you're still watching. You were like, you need to save the scene, dude. And we're going to turn on the old anti-aliasing because now we're kind of getting serious. And is my glow on? My glow is off. Let's turn the glow. Animated dither is going to give us kind of a simulated film grain. We're going to turn glow on. This will make the nacelles and the engines glow. Let's turn that on. And we're going to click save again, just to be sure. We're going to go ahead and F9 that. Render, and here comes the glow up. Oh, look at that. Well, see, that's starting to look like something, right? Look at this. We got some glowy engines. Now we're starting to be able to see things because we're using anti-aliasing. It doesn't look like a bunch of pixelated blobs. We got some stars. Now we could do more stars, all right. Definitely could do more stars. Let's clone that again. And rotate some more. We want more stars. We always want more stars. Always more stars. And you can even make the stars a little bigger. So here it says particle line size automatic. We could say that these are going to be medium. So now when I hit F9, those particular stars will look slightly bigger than the other stars. I promise. Yes. In fact, they're so big, they're kind of drowning out the other stars. You're like, oh, where are the other stars? So let's go to those other stars. And let's set them to small. And this to small. So let me make sure here we got these suckers. We've got these, and we've got these. Let's see what that looks like again. I just want to make sure that all these stars are playing nice. Because that setting those 1 stars to medium definitely seemed to kill the other ones, didn't it? All right, well, yeah, there you go. Little guy there, little guy there, little guy there. Very, 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 very faint. So these guys set to medium. If I went ahead and cloned them again and just kind of rotated them around to do something else. There we go. Just trying to build up my star field here for my starship. And what do we have? Let's see. Here we go. All right, so we're getting some more stars, starting to look like something. So this is, yeah, here we go. I mean, I'm wondering if I think for my taste, I think my cam fill is too bright still. I'm going to drop that down a little bit. And the kicker fill, I'm going to drop down a little bit. I like my stuff kind of contrasty. You know, moody, I guess is the word. I like it more moody. I'm a moody guy. Yeah, that's getting a little better. So we're getting kind of a... Yeah, I just don't want it to be too bright. Like, I see this neck here is really, really bright. It's definitely nowhere near as bright as the Sunside neck, but it's got to kind of have to be careful. And this glow, by the way, on the engines, that doesn't seem Trek enough. It doesn't seem intense enough. So I'm going to go ahead and increase the size to like 10. Let's see what that looks like. I want to see some glowy Bizarre collectors and nacelles here. Let's see this. Let's see this. Oh my goodness. There you go. See, now we're getting that Trek glow going on. That's some Trek glow, isn't it? That is some Trek glow. All right. So let's see what happens when this sucker gets near us. Near us. Right about what? Yeah, let's do. Yeah, let's do that. Let's actually save again. I like to always keep saving. I'm overwriting because I haven't really done any major changes. There we go. Let's get nice and close. Yeah, there we go. Nice and close. Nice and close. This will be a little more exciting. Dramatic. The flyby from TNG. Meanwhile, O'Brien talks to Worf about Troy. Okay, yeah, so there you go. See? Now we're getting... This is pretty dark up here. I don't know, maybe I should increase the kicker. But, ooh, you know, I do like my contrast. Oh, see, to me, that's, like, better. All right, let me bring it up just a little bit. And how this is near the end of the shot, so we're not really seeing much. I don't want to like mutilate the lighting just for the last like 10 frames. Let's look at it right here. Let's see what it looks like right here. I just turned up that kicker a little bit. Let's see what it looks like right here. In the preview, it looks really dark. You're like, oh man, this is the dark ship. But when it actually shows up, there you go. That's pretty dark. Yeah, it almost feels like the sunlight needs to be higher. Like my fills are okay, but this sun kicker is really getting kind of lost. This is pretty though. We got the cool glow. We got the windows. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick the sunlight. Let's look through the camera. Yeah, it's back there. So what I'm going to do is move it up and down more. All right. And for now, I'm going to turn off anti-aliasing because I want to get feedback much faster. Let's click F9 again here. So I've brought that sunlight up to try and hit more of the dish. So it's working, but what I'm going to do is increase its fall off to try and get some more light on that dish, the top part of the dish. So yeah, it's like really, man, I'm not sure. I want to be careful about this. I don't want to muck it up too much. I mean, it is on the dark side. So let's go back here where that kick light really should be hitting it now. Okay, well, something obviously has happened because like we're not getting any sunlight now. I don't know what I did. What did I do? Did you see what I did? It's 2000%. I don't, it's, you know, I wonder if the stars, no, because I turned off the shadows for all the stars. The shadow, yeah, all the stars don't have any shadows on, so they're not going to be messing with it. I'm not sure what it, oh, duh, I moved the freaking light. Why didn't you guys tell me that? Who's watching this? I moved the light way, 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 way out. Yeah, see, look at that. Blast. All right, so, but here's a great example of fall off though. See how this is like bleach white? This has got some hints of blue. That's your fall off, okay? That's your extreme kicker. So, let me take that down now. I totally forgot that I moved the light way out. Dummy. All right, so there we go. So we got the light there, and we've got the fall off there. Let me take it down a little bit, just a little bit, not too much. Yeah, okay. So now we're looking Star Trek-y again. Get in here where it gets right by the camera, doing the big paint scraper shot. Save the scene. Yes, save it. And press the render button again and keep drinking water, I promise. There we go. So now we're seeing some stuff. We got some stuff. We got the glowies. We got the fill light. We got the I'm sorry about the thing sliding around. It's overscan. We got the fills. What we need is anti-aliasing back because this looks like a bunch of murdered pixels. So let's go up here and let's get brave and go up to enhanced medium. And let's get fancy, turn on some motion blur. Now you can leave it at 50%, and that is going to give you a lot of like streaky motion blur. I like to use 25 to 35 because I don't want a lot of smeary motion blur. I like just a little bit of motion blur. So we're going to do that. Press the old F9 button. So this is going to be 9 passes, not 5. And it's going to have some motion blur. So you're going to see a little bit of motion blur. Smeariness. All right, there we go. So yeah, medium anti-aliasing is definitely smoothed all the pixels out. You can see a lot more detail in here. You can see all this bump mapping. And then now you're seeing this kind of like this weird soft, this kind of blurriness. That's because that's the motion blur. As this ship is flying by the camera close to lens, it's getting all streaky and blurry. So that's cool though. It's starting to look a lot like a Star Trek shot. So let's back the camera up a bit, back here. Let's kind of get our pretty little establisher. This time on Star Trek The Next Generation, we find our ship floating in space, serving biscuits and chicken, smothered in Cardassian gravy. There it is. All right. And, that's reasonable. This is fine. And then as you saw the animation, I'll render this out and it'll play back as a fun little flyby. But that's it. This could, like I said early on, this could be your logo or whatever you want. It doesn't have to be the Enterprise, but this is just this wasn't a quick at all. Why am I saying the word quick? This was an overview on how to do a basic 3-light setup in Lightwave, do the spaceship flyby, teaching you, hopefully, don't use too many keyframes to try and follow something as it flies by the camera, because that's going to be crazy. It'll drive you nuts, and you'll be fighting it constantly. Just keep the keyframes as low as possible. Keep the camera moves. Keep the motions simple. I mean, you could see this motion. Oh, yeah, let's make a preview. Wait, let's go. Let's make sure we're still in. Yeah, there we go. So, I have literally 2 keyframes. I have two keyframes for the camera. I have 2 keyframes for the Enterprise. That's it. So 4 keyframes total this entire shot. But just planning those keyframes out and being dynamic with it, like just dutching the camera is enough, right? You just gotta don't go crazy with the keyframes and chase things. Don't chase your object all over the shot. Just be simple with it. Keep the flow nice, keep the flow smooth. As you can see here, we're flying along, and we've got a nice little ship flying by the camera. All right, thanks for watching. Yes, I'm going to show you the video of the actual animation. But thanks for watching, and enjoy the end of the video with the flyby video animation playing that I've spent the last 17 hours showing you. And now we build the animation using Fred, an art department professional. I promised you an animation. Here it goes. It's compiling it. It's almost done. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, aren't you? There we go. Oh, she's so pretty. Look how pretty she is. Look at that. All of our efforts. Now, okay, so at the end, look at the very end. See how the top of the dish is bright and then it gets dim? See that? The start of the animation, the dish is really bright and then it gets dim. That's because I used a spotlight. It was far away with the fall off, and the Enterprise object is getting far enough away from that spotlight with the fall off setting that it's losing light. So that's an amateur mistake. and I'm fired. That's it. I'm done.
You're fired.
Anyway, there you go. There's the Enterprise D. Now, yeah, there is a really obvious, if you look closely, there's an obvious, right there. Yeah, there's like a weird color shimmer frame. That's just the color palette lock issue with Ham 8 or Ham Animations, but at the very beginning. That's not anything I did. I think it evokes the 80s, right? 80s, I guess. Thanks for watching, everyone.